Hey, JulesBlessedVegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. So I want to talk about the icon for this video. It's going to be brief, but before I get into that icon, I know it's going to be a brag. Take it in a second because it's miraculous. Like you're going to just be going, wait, what? How? I know. Are you ready? And I know this is hard for a lot of people, and so that's why it sounds like a brag. But to be fair, I'm going to tell you straight up. I have eaten clean and exercised every day for this entire year. I know, right? For all of 2021, I've eaten right every day. I've exercised every day. I know. I need you guys to just be going, wait, what? Huh? How is she so disciplined? I don't know. I'm just special like that. Hey, let's be fair. It only takes one compulsive bite to throw me off. 2 days is pretty impressive. All right, so let's go back to the icon. And what it reads is, avoid the temptation to make choices that are familiar but no longer serve you. Avoid the temptation to make choices that are familiar but no longer serve you. And I don't know if temptation is the right word, but it's definitely a habit. It's so interesting. There's certain things just in life that just feel, and some people will say, well, that's an energy and it's on the same vibration and no wonder, and you can go with all that if you want. But there's certain things that I see that are just familiar from my childhood, right? Like colors, smells, images, where I'll just feel right at home in that moment because they're familiar. And I literally think, wow, that's part of my family. That's part of my heritage. That in that moment, like, I'm not kidding you. And I'm not even going to go into what those things are because I don't want to trigger anybody. But honestly, I have to pull back and just go, that is comfortably familiar, most certainly comfortably familiar, but it doesn't serve me at all. It's not who I am anymore. That's not my current life. And I think that's kind of interesting because with social media, it's kind of a mind game. Like, honestly, by no accounts would I still know so many people on social media in my daily life. I would not know them at all, okay? Our paths split in first grade. Our paths went in different directions in ninth grade. Certainly by college, we no longer knew one another. But because of the phenomenon known as social media, people have been able to get in contact, and so they're familiar, but knowing them no longer serves me. And it's really hard for me sometimes to find the balance in that because, you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings and but it's like, there's a reason our lives went in a different direction. Are you kidding me? Totally. Well, it's the same thing. When I'm making food for my husband or when I'm out buying, dare I say, food in a fast food line or whatever, for a brief moment, so many of those things are familiar and they just seem right, And then I'm like, wait a minute, that's not my food. That's not who I am. I don't eat that anymore. And by no means does it serve my body. I've shared more than once that when I was growing up, I honestly thought that people outgrew sweets because I had people in my life, and this was before it became designer toxic food. But I had people in my life where I would say, how come you don't eat candy anymore? Or, how come you don't want any ice cream? Or just one bite of cake? Are you sure? And they'd be like, yeah, those things are too sweet for me now. I liked them when I was a little kid, but as a grown-up, They're just too sweet. I don't eat sweets anymore. And I honestly thought it was something people outgrew. And I believe that it probably was true at one point. But obviously, when our food became designer food and designed to keep us addicted, and successfully so, very few people have outgrown sweets, right? But it's really, really important that we take a moment with the familiar. We can certainly smile at the past. We can definitely feel the warmth of the familiar for the moment, but to actually act on it with the understanding that it by no means serves us anymore. That's definitely something to ponder, because I did have to let go of a few people that out of the familiar I had friended, that they were as toxic for me as they ever were, and I had no business having them in my inner circle. And it's the same thing with the foods. I have to take a moment and say, oh, you are so familiar, and I remember those Sunday night dinners when we were little, and oh yeah, I totally remember the fun of you at this or that, but you're not my food anymore, and you no longer serve me. Straight up. So important. So important. Anyway, I'm going to be sharing a couple of different things on social media, meaning my Jules Blessed Vegan Instagram, and then just Juliana McCants on Facebook. But one of them is all the steps for making my incredible wraps, which I love to make and just had today for dinner. And they were so fantastic. They run about 150, maybe 175 calories each. So if you fill them up with just delicious vegetables and some spicy mustard, which I love, and depending on your fat for the day, there's just a teeny bit of fat in them, because I literally had 2 tablespoons of chia, which in themselves is not all fat, 2 tablespoons of flax, which again are not all fat, even within that. So altogether, let's think about it, about 380 calories. Is that right? No. It depends. If your chia or flax are 45 calories or 60 calories, I'm just going to say 50. So about 200 calories of fat, but that was out of 6 huge wraps. And so 200 divided by 6. I know you're going to say, don't hurt yourself, Jules, right? Yeah, I'm thinking it's about 33 calories. About 33 calories in each wrap from the chia and the flax. And then I also used raisins, a cup and a half of raisins, which is, don't tell me, about 620 calories. So about 100 from raisins. So maybe 150 calories, because certainly the pound and a half of power greens, I count as free. I most certainly count those as free. And those are all the ingredients right there, straight up. So, it's about 300 calories for 2 huge wraps stuffed with vegetables, delicious dressing, which I just used spicy mustard, which I love. And it's just a good one, so you might want to check that out. And then I just had a fantastic salad. I'm trying really hard to just pack in the greens so that I really feel satiated along with my fruit and healthy fats. So I had a really big salad with about 250 calories of pineapple and 360 calories of persimmons. And I'm almost glad persimmons season is almost over, because oh my gosh, those just take up too many of my calories. Like one regular sized persimmon is about 180 calories. So I have to be super careful with those. But that was a major dinner right there. So between the persimmons, pineapple, and I didn't even use dressing. The fruit itself was the dressing. And again, a ton of greens. That was the other part. And then I actually had some ice cream, which I wanted to have. So I had 3 frozen bananas with 1 zucchini, which I use for bulk. And then I used a couple of drops of really delicious pumpkin spice, and I put that in there. And then I mixed in a little bit of cinnamon, and it was delicious. The other fun thing was on that salad, I actually sprinkled some peppermint tea on top of that salad, and it was just a kick. I'll tell you, I'm having so much fun using teas. So I try and stay between 14 and 1600 calories in my day, and I most certainly did do that. Try not to stress out too much. If I go a little lower on one day, a little higher on another. But I try and be really careful with that. Oh, and for my fat, I forgot to mention that I actually used a tablespoon of peanut butter, because between the chia and everything else, I only had 1 tablespoon left. So I used 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, and I blended that into that banana as well. And it was crazy good. Nothing provoked me. 16 ounces of fluids with all of it. And it was just a really good day. That I was proud to realize, my gosh, the year is flying by and I've been clean every day. Do you love it? All right, my friends, avoid the temptation to make choices that are familiar but no longer serve you. Like if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below how I may support you. Prayer, food, whatever. If I don't know the answer, I can look it up. And until we talk again, best of all, know that you are blessed.